This channel is supported by my online fishing courses, and you can learn more and get significant discounts at saltstrong.com/Skinner. I'll have links to all of the gear in the video description, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. And if you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. All right, this is a spot in eastern Long Island Sound that I really have no experience with, and hey, you might see a lot of fishing rods around. Yeah, I've got 6 rods with me because, quite honestly, I'm not sure what it is I'm going to do this trip as I'm heading out. But what's going to happen real quick here is I'm going to spot some albies, so I know what I'm going to start trying to do. Yeah, so this is October 3rd, and I have not seen albies in the Sound, so I'm almost getting a little nervous. And yeah, even this is a very small pod. There's just a few of them, and I'm not going to see much more than this, but definitely going to take a crack at them here. And like I would on the beach, I'm skipping a deadly dick across the surface of the water at high speed. God, that's exciting shit. And that concludes the albie portion of this video, but there's going to be lots to do here. Okay, so this is 65 feet of water. I have a 2.5 to 3 mile an hour drift. The boats that are out here are mostly sea bass fishing. That's about what I can see. So I'm bouncing a diamond jig and teaser off the bottom, and I'm going to make several drifts doing this. This is the only fish I'm going to catch doing this, is this one sea bass, and it's going to be a short. Okay, now we move on to the main event. So John Paduano is a Long Island fisherman who's very good, and years ago he told me how he likes to snap jig bucktails. And he had told me this before I was going to Florida. This was years ago. I was going to Key West, and yeah, I played around with that technique, and it worked exactly as he described. And the reason I really haven't done it out in the boat is because I don't boat fish for striped bass very much at all. In fact, if you go through my channel, you're going to find very few boat fishing striper trips. But you know what? This seems like the right kind of setting, and you know, light tackle. So let me describe. Basically, what you're doing is you're just dropping that jig down to the bottom, and what you see is that snapping. And the way he puts it is, you know, if you watch bait fish, they can do little bursts of speed. They usually don't go very far, and this kind of simulates that, and that's why it works. So the cool thing for me is that you're seeing the actual first time that I'm trying this for stripers, and you're also seeing it on waters that I don't fish. So that's 2 unknowns for me. So I'm almost kind of shocked that within, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds, I've hooked something. Now the cool thing about this is, all right, this is 65 feet of water, 2.5 to 3 mile an hour drift, and I'm using a 1 ounce bucktail. Now the key is that it's 10-pound test braid, so very thin line, and you need to have the right rod for doing this. It's got to have a little bit of stiffness to snap that jig, to bounce it. And I got this rod in a department store about 25 years ago, and it was broken. The tip was broken off, so it was only $5, so I grabbed it and stuck a tip on it. So it's my $10 rod. But it actually has the right properties. I mean, I've got a zillion rods, but this one's really got the right properties to do this. It actually says Made in America on it. That's how old it is. It's a old Abu Garcia. Okay, you notice I didn't stop the video there. This is the first drift. And right after I caught the striper, I put down and I'm hooked up again. Wow, so a nice sea bass. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to bleed this guy out and put it on ice. I had thought about targeting sea bass. That's why I was diamond jigging in the beginning, but all right, this works. Very interesting so far. Now, as I said, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm probably not doing it right. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe John would look at this and go, oh, you're screwing that whole thing up. But, hey, well, we'll see how the trip goes, and so far, so good. All right, next drift, I'm just dropping down. Just keep a note on the breeze, because it's going to pick up and it's going to impact the fishing and what I do. Now, with this kind of a drift and depth, a very suitable technique for this is the three-way bucktailing, and at the end of this video, I will have a link to a trip doing that. Now, the issue with that is you're going to be using at least 8 ounces of lead to get that rig down. It's definitely heavier gear, a lot more lead, whereas, like I said, this is 1 ounce, and the gear is beautifully light, and yeah, it's, you know, even in the three-way rig, you're basically presenting a 1 to 1.5 ounce bucktail, so I'm presenting the same lure, but in a different fashion. All right, now a very important part of this fishing is watching the line. So I'm just dropping back down to the bottom again and for another drift. And when I'm snapping it, as that jig is falling, I'm watching the line and not trying to impede the fall with the rod, but be ready to strike if that line twitches. I can like never wrap my mind around using high visibility fishing line, so I don't. I always like to have green or something like that. Probably if you had high visibility line, that might be helpful in this case, but hey, this works fine. I can see the line, I can see the slack, I can see a bump when a fish hits it, but you need to be ready for that bump, that interruption on the fall to set the hook. Now, I hate when sea bass interfere with my fluke fishing, but this is different. This is fun. So, yeah, that's going to end up on the dinner plate. Okay, so the specific bucktail is an S&S John Skinner swing hook bucktail, striper bucktail, and I chose that because I just think about the transition between when that jig is going up and when it goes down. Having the swing hook would give a little bit of an undulation there, and hey, you know what, I'm sure you could use any one of a number of fixed hook bucktails or whatever, but hey, this is working. And it's tipped with a small ottertail bait strip. It's the small thin strip. It's like 4.5 inches. Okay, sea bass, striped bass, now bluefish. Well, I guess the bluefish isn't too much of a surprise, but yep, he was down there near the bottom, just like everything else. Oh, this is one of those trips where I'm battling the boat a little bit. My bilge pump is not working. My boat leaks, so maybe every third drift or so, I've got to go down there, pull that plug, and yeah, and try to drain the water. And hey, the fish finder's out. Now, this is no reflection on that fish finder. It has nothing to do with the fish finder itself, but it's not working, so I'm going to start troubleshooting. You know, what do you do first? Well, you make sure it's plugged in. Start with the back. That's the easiest, and see if that helps. And it does not. So how about the battery end? You know, maybe there's something wrong with the wire that attaches to the battery, and because it was like there was a little bend in there. Check that out. Yeah, look at that. Oh, maybe there's broken connection. No. What about this little junction thing here? No, that all looks pretty good. All right, well, God, there can be so many different things, and especially not knowing the area. I'm really kind of hurting here if I can't have my fish finder and plotter. So, no, it's still not working. All right, so what's the next thing you start looking for? Well, still there I am testing the bilge. That's not working. Oh, get inside the console. Dig in there. Hey, there's my batteries for the trolling mower. They fit in there pretty nice. I've got a fuse box up on the side of the console on the inside. Make sure that's all good. Try it. No, that doesn't help. All right, what's left? Hey, there's an inline fuse coming from the hot wire. Just get rid of it. Maybe it's one of the connections. Maybe it's the fuse itself. Just pull it on out of there. Splice those two wires, and see, maybe that's the problem. Ah, yeah! I am no longer blind. Now I have a bilge pump. I've got a fish finder. Okay, the breeze has come up. That area in 60 to 65 feet, the drift speed, as it is here, is 3 to 3.5 miles an hour. Yeah, I can't stay down now with 2 ounces mostly because of the wind. So I've moved into 40 to 45 feet of water, and here we go. Okay, nothing wrong with that. I'll take another good eating sea bass. Yep. All right, the sea bass is encouraging. Take another drift here. And now with like 20 feet less of water, the 2 ounce is staying down fine. Okay, you saw me take a mark there because I really have no references out here. So there were no boats in there, and I have no marks on the area, so how did I pick the spot? I've got a new Humminbird Coastmaster card. So I used to have an Navionics, and the thing about Navionics, it's great, first of all, but you need separate cards for different regions. Like I've got one for Long Island, I've got a separate one for Florida, and the Coastmaster covers all regions. So this is my first trip with the Coastmaster card, and it seems to me that it has much higher resolution with the contour lines. Like I really had no idea where to run in over here, except I saw some rips and stuff, but there's like rips all over the place. But on the chart, you could see the contour lines so clearly, so I just went to where they were all stacked up and just drift across that area, and hey, it's working. Now, as with many fisheries, you need to stay in that near bottom strike zone. So what you'll see once in a while is you can see my left hand go over and flip that bail, drop a little more line. There you go. Just dropping a little bit of line to stay down there and stay near the bottom. Keep that thing bouncing near the bottom. All right, one more boat fail coming up here as I turn around and watch my left foot. Now, what I like about this fishing is it's pure structure fishing. You don't see birds. There's no fish busting. You know what? The fish are pretty easy to catch when they're in a blitz. But yeah, this is a matter of looking at the chart, the bottom contour, picking a spot, and after that, start refining your drifts over where you catch fish, make marks. And the next time I come back here, I'm going to have a starting point, and that's definitely going to help a lot. All right, when it comes into view, the left-hand side of the screen on the fish finder, you know, you can see some cool structure come up there, probably coming pretty close to a big boulder. And yeah, that's what you're looking for. You know, you're looking for bottom depth changes, humps. You know, you go deep to shallower, you know, even if it's a 10-foot difference, back down again. Any irregular bottom structure being washed by current could work out real well for bass. All right, I'm going to leave you with my best hookup of the trip, and if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe. Oh well, that one got me. Yeah, that one got around a rock. Keep in mind, I'm moving between 3 and 3.5 miles an hour here. You see those boulders on the beach? There's boulders like that down here. Hard to beat.